Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have metalcore band If Not For Me.
What's up, guys?
I think I'm starting to lose my mind. Can't seem to leave the past behind. I think about it all the time, and I watch myself subside. Though my grip is breaking slow, never been one for letting go. I can't rewind. You tell me that you love me, but it doesn't sound the same. Yeah, every word feels empty, and I know that I'm to blame.
I wondered if we could just start out by going around the room, say your name and what instrument you play.
Yeah, I'm Patty. I sing.
I'm Zach. I play bass.
My name's Hayden and I play guitar.
Okay, I just wanted to dig in a little bit of history. What got you into music?
For me individually, I didn't really know I liked music until I was around. Well, I always liked music growing up, but I didn't know I liked, I guess, live music and I guess more alternative styles of music until I was probably around 12 or 13. And I went to a show at my local rec center with some friends, and I was just going to hang out with my friends. And the band that played ended up, it was like Texas in July on one of their early tours. And it was like one of the craziest things I had ever seen, and I was like, this is it, like this is what I want. Like it became my whole personality in life after that. And yeah, ever since, like it, I don't know, it just changed me, I guess.
Honestly, music in general, I don't know how I got into. I feel like I didn't have like a super musical family, but my dad played guitar, my great grandma played piano. So I was kind of interested in it at an early age before I started listening to like modern music. I always listened to like, classic rock and stuff that was on the radio. My dad and I always like would, I don't know, quiz each other, like test each other to see who could like guess the band the fastest on the radio and stuff like that. And I don't know, this was really fun. I got into playing and it never stopped and only escalated from there.
So for me, the first time I think I realized I was really into music was when I first heard Linkin Park, probably like 13. um, got super into that band, and then I think like the bands that made me want to get into playing music were probably like the old Rise Core metalcore bands, like old Asking Alexandria or Attack Attack, Mice and Men. That whole era. Bless the Fall was just so influential, I think, to a lot of people, but to me too, just to get into metalcore.
Okay. Could you name a few of your musical influences?
A huge one for me was Kill Switch Engage, because they were like the first band I ever heard with screaming vocals to them. And I grew up on like 90s country. So when my uncle introduced me to Kill Switch, that was like one of the, I was like, what is this? Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And then from there, it went to bands like Under Oath. And I would say Spencer from Under Oath and Chris from like Moths to the Flames are like two of my really big vocal influences. Like when I was learning how to scream, I kind of drew a lot of inspiration from those guys.
Yeah, from that same era, maybe a little later, I really got into Bullet for My Valentine, and then like Avenged Sevenfold and Escape the Fate, Asking Alexandria, stuff like that really got me into the at least the genre that we're in now. That those guys really influenced me.
Yeah, I definitely started with bands like I said, like Linkin Park. 3A's Grace was a big one too. I always forget about.
Yeah, that's a good one.
um, yeah, and then like the earlier metalcore bands, you know. Yeah.
How did you guys get together as a band? Did you know each other before you formed the band, or did you like seek out people?
Yeah, this is it's kind of a fun question. Because this band started as Hayden's like high school project. Like that, this was his band like all throughout like junior high and high school and stuff like that. And me and Zach both played in bands kind of adjacent to, if not for me, like we played in a couple different bands like around the local scene. So we were used to seeing each other. We knew each other. We played with each other's bands in the past. And then when the time came for Hayden to get real serious with, if not for me, he was going through some lineup changes, and we are just a couple of the guys that he ended up recruiting, and it worked out. And our drummer Cody, who's not here today, it's a very similar story with him. He played in a band, well, still plays in a band called Ascent Like Wolves, that was playing around the local scene with all of us as well. And he's somebody that we looked up to for a long time as well. So when it came time for him to join the band, we were like super stoked on it. Like it was a perfect fit. But yeah, we all knew each other for a while. And it was kind of like, I don't know, it kind of became like a super group of all the bands in our area, I guess would be the best way to describe it.
Okay. How did you come up with the name for the band?
I can't answer this one, Patty.
Why you make me answer it? So we get asked this question all the time, and so you would think we would have a better answer for it, but the real answer is that um, so a past member came up with it, and it just kind of stuck, and Hayden never changed it. And then we joined, and that was the band name. I wish there was like a really cool story behind it, but unfortunately, there's not.
Okay. Where are you based out of? What city?
We say Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, because most people in the continental U.S. or even outside of the continental U.S. probably don't know where the heck Mechanicsburg is. But we're from a town right outside of Harrisburg called Mechanicsburg. Our home venue is like right across the street from where we're recording this. But yeah, we say like the Harrisburg, Central Pennsylvania area because it's like a huge hub for music. Like between Harrisburg and Lancaster, we have so many great bands come out of this area. So yeah, we just when we're on the road, we're just like, yeah, we're from Harrisburg because like this is it fits.
Okay. Now, you guys just signed with Thriller Records. Now, for like an up and coming band, what do you look for when you sign something like that?
A lot of the times it's like we look to what other bands on the label are doing. And with Thriller, it was really cool because we started out our contract on In Vogue. They're like partner labels now. In Vogue is like their kind of stepping stone label to get to Thriller. And when we were signing with In Vogue, I was really stoked because um, there are so many In Vogue bands that I grew up on. And I was just like, man, like I'm gonna be a part of this awesome roster. And then with Thriller, we're all like genuine fans of pretty much all the bands on Thriller. So we were, kind of looking into what they were doing, and they were like landing all these huge tours and putting out all this awesome music. So like for us to, kind of take that leap to get upstream to Thriller, like we were so excited because like we're fans of everything that label is doing. We're fans of all the bands on that label. So I mean, we were so stoked about it.
Okay. Um, you're releasing your new album March 29th, Everything You Wanted. And can you tell me a little bit about who you worked with on that album?
Yeah, you wanna take this one?
Yeah, so we actually worked with a lot of different people on this one. We branched out a lot more than our previous album, Eulogy. We did a song with the producers of the last album, Grant McFarlane and Carson Slovak. We did a song with Ricky Armelino. We wrote with Kurt Martin and then John Eberhard, and then Nick Matzkaus mixed and mastered everything.
Yeah, I guess we mainly just wanted to have like as many influences that we could, that like we looked up to. So we'd look at, we did all our previous stuff with Grant and Carson from Atrium Audio. They've done like ABR and Era and I don't know, a bunch of really sick bands. But we wanted to branch out a little bit more, so we worked with Ricky from Ice Nine Kills. He's the one we did Feel Me Now with, and that song came out so sick. And yeah, it was mainly just about, getting outside perspective that we might not have necessarily come to on our own. Um, and yeah, John, you mentioned John Eberhart. That was another huge one. He does all the like the I Prevail stuff, and a bunch of other really cool bands. But yeah, it was mainly just about, collaboration. We wanted to write the best songs that we possibly could, and we wanted as many ears that we really respect in on that as we could get.
Yeah, like when you work with other people, they give you different perspectives on different things.
Yeah, 100%.
I wanted to dig in a couple songs here. Alone, uh, there's a lyric line in there. You tell me that you love me, but it doesn't sound the same. Every word feels empty, and I know that I'm to blame. Um, like the whole song, it feels like there's two people, but they're going in the separate directions.
Right, right. Yeah, that song, that's the song that we did with Kurt Martin. He did like all the Catch Your Breath stuff, which we're a big fan of them. But yeah, we were on tour actually, and we had a couple of days off in Atlanta where he was based out of at the time. So we are like, yeah, let's do a song with Kurt Martin. And it was funny because like I was struggling with what I wanted to write that song about. And Kurt was, throwing out melodies, and he'd throw out some lyrics here and there. I think he said like something about house, not a home, or something like that. And then like I was like, okay, like, and I just ran with it. And that bridge line that you just, or I guess that pre-chorus line that you just said, was like one of the first lines of the song that I actually wrote. Um, and yeah, that song is basically just like you said, it's just two people going in separate directions. It's somebody trying to reconcile a relationship that he knows is broken and is falling apart. And yeah, I think it's a super relatable song. I think that a lot of people have been in that position before, where they're just trying to mend something that they know is beyond mending. And yeah, that's essentially what I wrote that song about. Like, you hit the nail on the head.
I think I'm starting to fall behind, like we've been running out of time, chasing what I'll never find, and there's nowhere left to hide. Though my grip is breaking slow, never been one for letting go. I swear I tried. You tell me that you love me, but it doesn't sound the same. Every word feels empty, and I know. So if you feel alone, don't go. You said this was a house, but not a home. I know that I can never make it all night. Nothing feels the same, and life will never change, 'cause I can't ever make it.
The next song is "Everything You Wanted," and you have a little pre-chorus on there where it says calloused and broken. Did you get what you want? Words left unspoken. Sit back and bite your tongue. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, everything you wanted. was, I think it was one of the earlier tracks we wrote for the album. Am I right? It is? Okay. It might have been, yeah. Okay, apparently it was the first one. Um, and that's the one that we did with our old producers, Grant and Carson. Um, and that song kind of set a theme for the rest of the album. And the theme is generally like me just trying to deal with a lot of my past mistakes in relationships and things that have been done to me in past relationships and stuff like that. And I wanted Everything You Wanted to be the title of the album too, because I just like that, I guess, that sarcastic tone of like the I hope you got everything you wanted kind of attitude. And yeah, that song is just like, it's about finally being free from somebody that like you've known all along is not good for you, and you've known all along that you've been manipulated, but it's just hard to let go of. And it's just about finally being free from that feeling and how liberating that can be. And it's one of my favorite songs on the album, lyrically and musically. I think I don't know, it came out so sick. I'm really stoked on that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're addicted to like a toxic relationship.
Yeah, this album deals a lot with toxicity, and a lot of it's written from my perspective, and a lot of it is written well, it's all written from my perspective, but some of it's written at myself and some of it's written at other people. Like there's that kind of duality to it. And I think a lot of it's very relatable, like I said. So I just want somebody to, get something out of it, whether it's something that they need to hear or something that they think somebody else needs to hear. But yeah, that's essentially what the whole album's about.
While you choke on your lies, you're pretending it's unending. Oh, all the games that you play, watch it all fall away from the ending. You're lost and broken, then you'll get what you want. Run fast, run forget, sit back and bite your tongue. Let me go. Did you get everything you wanted? Let me go. Did you get everything you wanted?
What do you guys got planned for the rest of this year?
Hopefully a lot of touring. We have our CD release tour that's going to be happening in like 2 weeks is when we start. And we'll be out for, I don't know, 2 weeks or something like that doing that. And then we have a bunch of tours coming up later in the year that we can't say much about yet. And we're also getting back into the studio soon to work on some more stuff. But yeah, we want to tour as much as we can. We want to push this album as much as we can. We want to get it to as many people and meet as many of you guys on the road as we possibly can. Like that's what this is all about for us.
And you guys are part of the Capulet Fest lineup.
We are, and I'm so stoked about that because like Skillet is on that. And like to see us on a flyer with Skillet is like the coolest thing ever, because that's also one of like the first, I guess, alternative bands that I ever got into. Like I remember being 11 years old and seeing them at like Christian music festivals. So I'm jazzed about that. It's going to be sick. The whole lineup is crazy.
How can we get a hold of you? In Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram for us is like really popping. That platform has been going off for us for a while now, which we're really stoked about. But yeah, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We occasionally tweet. We're not very good at Twitter, but we do it sometimes. And of course TikTok too. We're all over TikTok. Um what? Oh yeah, and at the link in our bio, there's links to all those things. There's a link to our official website and merch store, and those have contact things on it as well. If anybody wants to say hello.
And is that like at If Not For Me?
Right? Is it?
It's ifnotformeband.com.
Okay, the website is ifnotformeband.com. And excuse me. I think Twitter it's just if not for or no, Instagram it's just if not for me. And then Facebook if not for me. Twitter is if not for me band, I think. But yeah.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
We just appreciate you having us. And yeah, I love doing this kind of stuff. Like I said, or like I forget if I said it or you said it. Somebody said it. Our album, Everything You Wanted, drops on March 29th, and we are so excited to share it with you and get out on the road and hang out with y'all. So, yeah, we appreciate it.
Run from God. Sit back